Hey, light beams. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey there, light beams. People of the light, people of the sun, people of Ra, people of love. I think I came live too soon. I was trying to get my music started. I don't know why this thing is opening. Okay, there we go. Go to Chrome and see. I love this.
Man lives in the sunlit world of what he believes to be reality. But there is, unseen by most, an underworld, a place that is just as real, but not as brightly lit. A dark side.
Well, let's get into it today. Today, I wanted to talk about this thing called the Antichrist, and I also wanted to talk about um, this things called the UFOs, um, these spiritual crafts, as I know them as, and one article in the news that's been let me turn this on. Turn my light on. Shut this down. Come back. This article in the news. Okay. About the Navy and UFO sightings that I wanted to get into because I have two articles, but I'm going to get into the first article. And unfortunately, I don't have no videos. I was going to go over this on my live screen on the phone where I could share the article, but something's up with that. So we're going to listen to this right quick and see if you can hear it. But I don't think you can hear it, and I'm going to show you. This is the article. Maybe it's too much light. There we go. So we think that our perception is not the same as welcome to Slick 93. Welcome. Our perception and our we don't have to see what they see. You see, they see spirits. They deal with things they see in the physical existence because they are physical beings. Caucasians, I'm speaking now. They are physical beings they're stuck in the physical existence. They have no souls within them. So therefore, everything they see is what the matrix allows for them to see on the realm level that they stem from. We don't really, we see those things, we can see those things, but we know that in our reality, our true reality, we are connected to all those things. We are basically, I want to say, kind of like we're inside ourselves. We're inside of what we're attached to or connected to somehow. So therefore, when they talk about UFOs, you got to realize they're talking about these things from their level of understanding. Their level of understanding. Their reality. You see what I'm saying? We get caught up. We have gotten caught up or been made to be caught up in thinking or thinking that they think like we do, and everything's on an equal ground, on a level ground, but it's not that way at all. Um, it would never be that way. That's just the nature of it. So as long as we think like that, we will continue to fall underneath of them because we're playing on their level. We're living on their level, and we're believing we are understanding ourselves on that level, on a lower level. We're understanding the world around us from a lower level, and not from this level where we're supposed to be at. It's all part of killing the Christ within us. You hear me talk about Ma'at a lot, and balance. It's all critical. It's all critical because this is the code that we live by within ourselves, with ourselves. Hey, rational. It's what we live by naturally. It's an honor to be human. We have two heads. The left hemisphere, the left hemisphere of the brain, and the right hemisphere of the brain. They only have one head. They're stuck in the left. They're stuck in the left. We can utilize both. We really need to be more stronger in the right, though. We need to stop surviving and fighting out here to survive and start being, existing. That's why I talk about our signs, our energy signs, like our stars we were born under. It tells you your purpose, how to maneuver the plane that we're on, the level that we're on. What are we supposed to be doing in our existence? And then our inner self guides us. That's the crystals, that's the Christ, that's the oil. That's what shows up on our skin as melanin, as we know it. We call it melanin. It's what naturally is the balance within us, what keeps us balanced, but not without knowledge, of course. When knowledge is taken away, it is just another way of causing us to fail. You know, no, I don't. I don't think we're more right-brained. We're left-brained as well. The left brain is what gets you stuck here. Of course, they're gonna say that, and I'm trying to say I'm gonna start staying away from black because when I get into the Antichrist, you can see the word be lack, to be lacking in. We don't lack in anything as a people. So we may want to rethink the word black because words are spelled against us. And I'm about ready to get into that. Hey, Indigenous warrior, welcome. I'm about ready to get into words and how it's been used against us. Woo, I'm sweating up a storm now. But how many of you out there have been peeping in the skies and watching for these crafts and seeing them? We actually can see them but they're not anything outside of who we are as Black people. It is actually a part of us. We just inside the matrix, the illusion. That's why things are seen. That's why I explained before that when things hit this atmosphere, the spirit, the invisible, hit the atmosphere, it becomes able to be seen. It is manifested to be seen. That's why we see the black sun, which you wouldn't see if you were in the cosmos. You wouldn't see the sun. But us looking outward from the planet, from the earth, we see it as a ball of fire. We see the illusion. We see the heat coming off of that because the sun is really, how you say, I don't want to say black anymore, but I could say that it's really, really dark. It's really of a dark, dark hue, where you would be in pure darkness once we got up into space. We would be in nothing but space, space darkness. But because of the layers of the planet, of the Earth's layers, illusionary, it causes this illusionary, everything becomes physical that hits it. So the light, the energy becomes physical when it hits the earth. And it hits us, physical beings down here. And it hits the Caucasian and burns them, of course. Because they are physical beings only. Physical beings only. So that's why they burn. Now, if they had souls, they wouldn't burn. As Caucasians, though, if they had that skin, they would burn from the inside and the outside as well. Because they would have the soul, they would burn inside and outside, so they couldn't exist. They just wouldn't exist like as such. Because we know that soul is only nothing more than the black dot, the dark dot. Let's just say that, because I'm not saying that the sun lacks anything. It doesn't lack anything. It has a lot of energy in it, a lot of magic, a lot of melanin. That's where we come from. So, in saying all of that, I come to this what I want to bring before you is all this talk about the Antichrist all the time. And the word, you got to think. You got to think. We know that English is coded. It was coded especially for us here. Because as we know, our ancestors went through a time where we were captive and held in prison and didn't have any way of living. Everything was taken from us, even our language. So we know that the only people who talk Antichrist and who taught us the word Antichrist through scriptures and who have this thought of an Antichrist are the ones who are actually killing the Christ within us, the crystals, the melanin, and all the light beings all over the planet. They're trying to do it too. And they've always tried to do this too. So they have a habit of projecting. So what it is these spiritual crafts that we see that are now manifesting themselves because they're coming closer into our atmosphere. And they're able to come into our atmosphere. And when they come into our atmosphere, they come in, they manifest into this physical craft that everyone could see and not just, witness. So they would love to say that that is the Antichrist. When it has nothing extraterrestrials, we are the extraterrestrials. We are the draconians. We are the dragons. We're everything outside, inside. Outside, inside. Up, down. Everything. I remember in the 70s when I was wee little. And I think it was Mr. Bodyman. And it seemed like he would jump. He was just, you could see had the skin. He had the outside of his body. You can see, well, the inside of his body was outside. Can anybody ever remember that on the PBS channel? Mr. Body, let me see if I can pull it out. Oh, memory's sake. And then I'll go back to my email. Let me see if they got the old video on YouTube. Electric Body. Is it Electric Body? No, it wasn't that. Let's just see what it means. Mommy. What, child? Mom. Okay, hold on. Mom. What's going on? I thought you was... I'm back. But, what is it called? It was like a science special. And it would talk about the body, eating, health. And it would show all the organs, the veins on his body. He had the suit. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I found it. Okay, I'm going to show you some of it here. It's called Slim Good Body is what it was. It was Slim Good Body. Hey, welcome here. I don't know if y'all remember this. Let's see if I can make this big. Okay. I don't know if it's going to show him. Actually, I remember he used to jump in and out.
This is the inside story of digestion. Down, down, down. And here to tell you about it is the one and only Slim Goodbody.
Bodies come in different shapes and
It looked
sizes.
like he was inside the body.
Some people are fat, some people lean. Some of the people are right in between. Some people have zip, others get beat, but you can be a winner if you
But
want
anyway,
what you eat. Sing along with me.
you can see.
Food is the fuel that'll keep us
There you
alive.
go.
Food is the fuel that'll give us a drive. Food is the fuel that'll keep us on the go. You gotta eat right if you wanna grow.
Okay.
Food is the fuel of life.
So it shows him inside. It shows him actually the body. He's a part of the body, but he's also inside the body, telling us about the body. It's kind of weird to explain, hard to explain, but that's what I gather as people of humans as being inside. So not necessarily as physical body or a body, but as a spiritual existence, on our spiritual existence level, that we are inside of it and became physical, but we still have the spiritual inside of us as well, being physical beings. So it's something that they lack and that we were kept from understanding about ourselves, to lift ourselves up from that. We'll lift ourselves up from the lower level that we're on now. So with that said, I'll get into the Antichrist situation that we've been fed. We've been fed about the Antichrist, but it's obvious that the people that were feeding us about the Antichrist are the very ones who are being the Antichrist. And back to your thing about the lower IQs because of the right brain, it's just because they have more of an advantage over us. It's not that, as far as the left brain is concerned, they have the money, they make the tests, they make the lessons. We're more stressed. We have more on our minds that have been put on our minds. But we overcome those things. All the things that I've been through, I still was able to be a straight A student. And then at times, when stress hit me, I became lower than a straight A student. So there are things at play with us as the dark skinned people of melanin, people of the crystals of the sun, that we have things that have been put in our way versus them. They've had a clear path. They haven't had things put in their way. They haven't had the things that we've had, the trauma that we've had, the PSP, the post-traumatic stress that we've had. You know what I'm saying? So, like I was saying the other day in the video, they haven't had those things. Not anything comparable to what we've had to deal with. So we would have more of a reason for why we are the way we are versus them. It's their nature, but they make it for us to be environmentally induced. Everything's environmentally induced for us, and this is all to kill the Christ within us. So therefore, making them the Antichrist. They're the Antichrist, and I say that they are the Antichrist because, like I said the other day on my video, that racism was put forth to be the system or the covert system, meaning a cover up for what is really the aim. What is really the aim? The real aim is to rob us of our spirituality, our knowledge of ourselves, and the use of of what we've been given here. The sun, the soul, the use of it, the attachment to it, that we could be great. But because they don't have that, it makes them the Antichrist. So them coming to us and telling us about such said Antichrist and projecting it upon another entity to have us just fighting against something that is nothing more than self. So in order for them to still exist, So the main point I wanted to hit on tonight was very critical is to understand that they put forth the Antichrist as a form of projection because they are the Antichrist. They are against what is in us. And they said it long ago. Not too long ago. But with Hoover, they said this. Let me get this. The great old saying of Hoover. Yeah. Mommy, outside. Mommy, mommy. Okay, hold on. Outside. Okay. I don't have that, baby. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me see. But yeah, their aim, Hoover said their aim was to stop the Messiah in the African American community from arising. So basically, that was quoted as saying they didn't want us to wake up as a people and understand who we were. So, what got me understanding this and recognizing this, which is not too hard for us to recognize. What, China? I gave you a hug. You can't go in there, girl. Come on. No, I'm not doing that. Come on. I'm not playing. I'm back. I'm so sorry. I'm in and out. To stop the Messiah from rising, not one Messiah, but just stopping us, period, from recognizing who we were as a people. Mommy, give me a kiss. Cheyenne. Mommy! It says preventing the rise of a Messiah. Cheyenne. Cheyenne, I gave you a kiss. Stop it. Stop it. I'm back. I'm so sorry. But it says preventing the rise of a Messiah, of a Messiah. Each one of us have a Messiah within us. So that's what that was about. So it's not an individual Messiah. It's us recognizing who we are and being guided by that energy, that light, that sun within us, the crystals. Knowing that everything has duality and that we once were a pure minded people. And that's what we need to get back to. Our spiritual part of us is the purity because it knows no physical ideologies, or it doesn't know this world we've been locked into. is what I'm meaning. The mind, when we pass, the mind goes back to that purity. That's why people, because we don't have the mind, we go back to purity, basically. Because it's the mind that has all this understanding of the world around it. And that's what God is here for. You know, the God in us is here to experience that, to witness himself being, herself or himself as being. And that's the obstacle in our way, is the energies that don't have that are lower energies. That's just all a part of our existence, of our existence, the obstacles in the way that are preventing us, but cannot prevent us. Only we allow it, because we think of ourselves as in a weaker state. We think of ourselves as equal to them. So therefore, that's what happens to us. We end up on the lower level, not understanding that we're supposed to be on this higher level. That is part of killing the Antichrist. That's part of killing the Christ within us, being anti-Christ. So we didn't come up with that word. We were taught that word, and we were taught it by no other than the perpetrators of the word. And they try to put it off on another entity that's being the Antichrist. So they always talking about, it's like a confusion when it comes to the Bible, big time. From hearing them tell it through the Pope, what is coming? Is it the devil or is it God? You know, you really don't. That's a bunch of Christianity, religious confusion on that end. But and that's why they have a lot of our artifacts, a lot of the Nubians artifacts, such as the obelisk, and various other things they have, expecting, I guess, these entities that they are trying to I don't know, pass them off themselves as us. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get that part. But I do know they have a lot of our artifacts, and I do not know. It's almost as if they're trying to pass themselves off as us at times. But I don't see how that can I guess by having us around, I don't know. I really haven't got that. I just don't get it. I don't have no answer for that part of why they have our artifacts, our ancient ancestors' artifacts, the obelisk. Many of them, you go to the graveyards, they're buried with these artifacts. They're buried with replicas of the artifacts that they have. Like the obelisk. Some people put the obelisk or put something similar to like the obelisk or other artifacts on their grave stones. You know, a lot of Egyptian, the Freemasons, utilize a lot of that. The Pope, in Rome, they have all of that. But yet, they make like the Egyptians or the Nubians were, in their little stories, they make like um, they were horrible, horrible people. Of course, what do we expect um, from that? Of course, they're going to make other things look horrible. Um, so it's just some things just still need answers with me, but I am 100% for sure about them projecting and saying there's an antichrist out there, when the only people that have the crystals is us African American humans, men of color. We're the only ones that have the crystals within us. So, and what we see every day is um, them, the ones who've taken us in captivity. We see them as being anti-crystals, anti-Christ. We see them as being anti-us, preventing us from reaching a nice spiritual height and being a community and just loving each other. We see so much interjection within that and preventing that from ever happening. So Vaticans have Nephilim. Okay. The Vatican is, yeah, of course the Vatican is evil. What they say about evil is the opposite of live. So their job is, they're doing their job and preventing us from living. See, we're not doing our evil. We haven't done our evil like we need to be doing our evil. But I understand that we are the Nephilims. We are the giants. We are all of that. So basically, we are everything. So when people think that there's something separate from us, we're the whole. We're the all in all. So what we're dealing with is the peace of God within us that wanted to experience and itself in the physical existence is doing that. And there are obstacles. Yeah, we're demons. We have demons. That's where our ancestors are. We're reptilians. We're all of that. There's nothing outside of us. That's why I said we cannot think like these Caucasians think. They think that there is a separation because they are separated. They are out there. They've been separated from the beasts that roam the earth, and they're just in the middle there. They've just been separated from. They're separated from the cosmos, which is us, where we come from, where we're from, the planet, everything. They're just out there, and we think we've been made to think that we're just out here. But we're not. We're not alone. We're not. Matter of fact, we should be seeking ma'at. We should be seeking balance. We should be um, seeking the understanding of us being the all in all, and what we must do being this all in all, and definitely rise above this level that we're at, that we've been forced to be at, because they want to kill the Christ within us. They told us what they want to do. You know, talking about hanging the Christ and, well, putting the Christ, you know, on a cross, you know, which is pretty much powerful. The crossroads is very powerful energy there. Um, so they, we must not allow them to. What do I want for us? I want us to recognize how powerful we are and use our magic, our abilities. Stop being here and be here. You know, awakening the God within us and connect with that. You know, to become balanced people. We're not sick people. The thing that really, really, really got under my skin is seeing 2 Black people put in the news over the children, over the child. Every day. That should not be happening to our people. There was a time when we were way better than that. We had communities, you know. Yeah, I know we are the chosen ones, but we're not only the chosen ones, we are the ones. So therefore, there's no one to choose us. Who is choosing us, girls? There's no one choosing us. We have to choose to follow the God within us that tells us that we are above all of this and that we have love, quantified love for each other. And that we don't go around killing each other like that. We don't go around killing each other. That's just, you know, that's something that we were taught and that we were fed into our experience. It was downloaded in our physical existence. We witnessed it, we lived it, we've experienced it through trauma. And never, ever have we been given help for that. Never, ever has anything within my art happened for us. Nothing. They have done nothing for my art. They want so much to be, but they have not done anything justified. They have not to justify, to give us justice as far as what's happened to us, our people. You say 2/3 of our people gotta go, but it's not by their faults, any fault of their own. You know, these people. Can you imagine if you're part of that? A person that does not know yourself and you've had real bad trauma all your life happen to you. And your path has been made due to that? What happens in the story? What happens in the stories that they tell to the person who who causes the harm to others and causes others to falter in their lives? You're just as guilty as the person who's faltered, you know, just as guilty. So I don't believe anything. I try to know it and understand it. If I don't know it and understand it, then I'm trying to get some understanding of it. I'm trying to get some answers. Some things I may not want to accept. I just have to accept. I have to learn to accept because it's coming out of this mind that that's been constructed. Our minds have been constructed. Yeah, of course they do. Of course the Queen and the Vatican rules the evil world. Of course they do. That's why it's evil for us because it prevents us from living. It prevents us from being the righteous people we're supposed to be as a whole, you know? You trying to understand me? Tell me what you're not understanding, Daryl Downs, and I'll try to help you the best way I can. I'll try to help you the best way I can to clear it up. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, but the Queen and the Vatican, of course, that's how we see the Caucasians living, you know. But they're not living. What we cannot misconstrue is thinking that they're living a righteous life. They don't live in righteousness. They're living about the most nightmarish life on the planet. But it's all in secrecy. This is what I want for our people. I want our people to not live the nightmarish life. Many of our people marry into them. Diane, the Caucasian princess herself, said it was a nightmare being married to the king, the queen's son. She talked about it was a nightmare being in that family. And that's from a Caucasian woman who was the princess in Buckingham Palace. So we think from our standpoint that everything, because they're good at masking things. They're good at making things seem like it's good. It's something that you would want to be part of. You know? That's why we have so many people marrying them and don't know what they're marrying or getting involved with and don't know what they've gotten involved with. Or even allowing them to touch them physically, engage with them, and don't know or understand what they're engaging with. The sacred people are putting themselves at a lower state. Yeah, it's all about balance. But you can't balance a black man being with a white Caucasian woman, a Caucasian being, female, or a Caucasian male, a black man with a Caucasian male. You know that's happening. So there's no balance in that. No balance at all. You know, you can just examine that and see for yourself there's no balance in that. Because she is taken away from his melanin. Taken away, so the children are coming out and they're going to be locked down. They're not going to have the type of melanin we have. Your melanin. Or that they're just going to have more of a struggle to overcome. You know, it's no balance in that. What we going through is what you put your children when you go into that kind of relationship. You put them into just imagine what we go through is like compared to what the children of that union go through. Of course, Daryl Giles. I'm married to one of the darkest men on the planet. We're going back to our original self, like it or not. Oh, yes, I feel that I'm going back to my original self. I can tell you some things that have been happening to me lately. The energy is high. I've been sleeping. I mean, I've been so tired lately. Y'all seen me yarn a couple of times. So it's heavy. Yeah, it's just 10 times the trouble. You bring in these people, they're unhappy, they're locked down. I mean, what, I don't get it. Oh, it's everything's about looks. Oh, they look so precious, they look so beautiful, but I don't know. You have to think about what you do to the children, your seeds, your children. They're important. That's your next generation. And you don't want the same old, same old. When you come into a black-white union, man and woman, because there's a lot of women I see, and the black man I seen just the other day, and I can tell you the story. I meant to tell you the other day, it would have been perfect, but I have so much on my mind at times. But me and my children, we were at the park, and you talking about demasculinizing our mouths. This woman really did do that. She just sat on her ass and blamed him for everything. The little girl fell because she was running with her sister playing woof, right? And she's like, she's watching them play, but she's asking him, he's walking around, mind you. And just, they're both listening to them play, but I mean, you have different perspectives. You might see, I might see the kids playing, and you might see something I may not see. I see them as playing, I hear them playing. So I might not see them as getting hurt. But Cheyenne, go ahead. Tell Reba. No, tell Reba. Yes, our ancestors have given us a guideline to the light. But let me finish telling you the story about this, okay? So she yells at him. Well, not necessarily yells, but Anna, stop. I cannot talk. Not necessarily yells, but tells him, why don't you pick her up? Why don't you get her? She's hurt or whatever. And he's like, well, I didn't even know that. She got the little girl, cried a little bit and got up and ran. He's like, well, I didn't know. I thought they were playing wolf. But, anyway, she could have got up off her butt and did that. If she thought something was wrong, she could have took care of that instead of blaming him. He's walking around, just hearing them, but all he does is hear it. So, but he's getting accused of basically neglecting at the time when the mother's just staring right at the kids. So it's just like demasculating, just I don't know too many men that go to the park, but mostly black men go to the park with their white wives. So that's a lot to be examined in that situation, a lot to be looked at and picked out to see what is going on. But I know the man, he's well educated, I could tell by the way he talked. And much on the sweeter side, though, the softer side, softer kind of guy. Definitely not the type of man I would ever have gotten involved with because I do not like soft men. Yeah. So that's what I got from that. Just that she was very bossy, and it upset him. It upset him. He was like, he just kept repeating, I thought they were playing the wolf game. I just thought they were playing the wolf game. I mean, well, if you have to be in that kind of situation, you might want to rethink being with that type of females because they one up on you physically. Because for one, the black man or the black woman may not like themselves, love themselves, may not like themselves or love themselves because it was orchestrated by them for us not to like and love ourselves in this society. It's all part of breaking down the Christ, killing the Christ within us, the Messiah within us. It's going to speak up and say, well, we are great. We have powers. We can utilize, we can manipulate things and make it our way, and we can become the evil. It's okay to be evil. If they're being evil, it's okay for us to be evil, which is just live. We can live the proper way we're supposed to live, which is what they do not want because they cannot exist if we got it together. If we did not have gay and lesbians in our community, if we did not have people that did not use what was given to them, the brains, to see, if we did not have people who felt like they have to work all these long hours just to get the money, or we didn't have people who seen that they needed money more than anything, and they put money before everything. So they were just always out there giving instead of thinking, sitting and thinking, sitting and being mindful, sitting and understanding what's going on within themselves, sitting and listening to the voice within themselves. So much distractions, so much out here. We want to be attractive. We want to be seen. We want to be known. We want to be we want to look like them. We want to be like them. But we're not understanding those things. Yeah, I agree. Reach for the universe and cosmos and space. We want to all these things that are waste of time, waste of energy, waste of all this good energy that we have as more people of the more. We have so much more about us that we are on this little level worried about taking in, and we are damaged people at that. So we don't even love ourselves. Because if we loved ourselves, we want we wouldn't be dealing with all that. If we loved ourselves, we wouldn't be dealing with all that. You know, we would be like these other people out here who are loving themselves, but only loving themselves at our expense. But the Africans over there, they love themselves. The ones who are not dealing with the Caucasians on a certain level, but they are loving themselves. The ones who have not dealt with the Caucasians on the level that we've had to deal with them, they have a love for themselves. And when you know that a man and a woman has love for themselves, those are the ones who would never be caught dead marrying a Caucasian or having children with a Caucasian. They would never be caught dead. They really love themselves. That's how you know a brother and sister love themselves, because you would never, they have no intentions of ever having that kind of union. It's just not on their radar. It's not in their intentions. They don't have no intentions of that. It's just like something that it's just not existence to them. It's not of their world, you know. That's how you know. That's when you know a brother and sister really truly loves themselves. It's not only because of that, but the way they are, you know, the way they are with themselves, you know. You know. So our love within nature. Yeah, we love ourselves. You know, when you love yourself, it shows. You know, you show it, but your actions. You know, actions. Love is an action. You know, because how are you gonna love something that only loves you in the low state that you're in? You know, how are you gonna love something that has robbed you of justice? That has never, never gave you retribution for what you've been through. Um, has never gave you reciprocity. It has never given you a peace of mind. Has never given you balance, order. Mm-mm. Never given you, but it has taken so much from you. But you see many of our men and women out here with them, and they have taken so much away, and they have prevented sin. They even put out they're preventing your Messiah from coming, from you reaching your Messiah, your greatest self, your rise. They put that out there, and you still and Hoover, Edgar Hoover is a half black man at that. He was a half black man, but he took side and he went and told them, you know, he killed. Matter of fact, he killed one of his black relatives. So, you know, he threatened all his black family, all his family, well, black African American family. He threatened all of them, had them in fear while he was in office. And, mm-mm-mm, mm-mm-mm. That's all I gotta say. It's just we just keep repeating. You know, people, when you don't, just the very fact that they didn't allow us knowledge of ourselves. You know, what they are supposed to have been doing, what's giving us, not feeding us knowledge, but they doing it in a way to hinder the knowledge of ourselves. You know, so they've pretty much really hindered the knowledge of ourselves, but we still have it within us. We have this obstacle of reaching where we need to go, but we can reach it. You know, we can knock those obstacles out of the way, you know, and get to where we need to go. We can do it. I really know this. I really know this about it. So I know this because I see it, it's within me. If it's within me, it's within other parts of me. Because I'm not, right now, this, you know, as light bearer, I'm not the only part of me. There's millions of parts of me out here. And I know that we can do it and become that whole again, become that one again, you know. That's what I know, you know. That's what I know we need to do. And we need, like we said, balance. My art is the way. My art is the way, family. In due time, our people will wake up. Yes, they will, Indigenous Americans. Yes, they will wake up. They will wake up to themselves and their true selves. And at this moment, you know, every second, ourselves within the I within us, I should say, is at work trying to speak to the people, speak to them, but they're not hearing because it's such a faint voice. You have to be in quietness. You have to be you have to fall. You have to be smacked down. Like I heard my man say, you have to be smacked down. I'd say I was definitely smacked down. Like I said before, I said, I was put in a situation to where I had no choice but to go spiritual, to listen to the spirit, and be guided to the answers I had. The questions I had, all the questions I had were answered. And it's really amazing to me how I was guided, you know, and it's amazing to me that I got through those times because it was just tough. It was very tough time, a very tough time. But I never gave in that I was alone. Even though I reached my bottom and felt like I was so alone, then I remembered that those voices I was hearing, and you know, I had no choice but to ask, you know, them, you know, because I was ignoring it for so long because, you know, I thought I was crazy. I thought something was wrong with me. But yeah, I thought I was crazy hearing the voices because, and then it took a long while to adjust to what I was having to take in, you know, a long while because it broke down this world that I knew. It broke the world that I knew down. It just, a bomb just exploded and broke down the way I thought of the world, you know. So they are going to have to go through that. And then depression hits. Depression hits. Um, because you just, I don't know. For me, the life that I lived was always, I could say that I was one who wanted attention, wanted to be, um, I don't know, this something, I don't know. But the realization and the decisions you have to make, the decision you have to make to let go of that, totally let go of that, of those ways that aren't right ways whatsoever. It's nothing righteous. It was never anything righteous in that, that lifestyle. Never nothing righteous in it. I would have been a prisoner for a very long time to that world at that. So when I finally let go of the church, because I was in bondage. I was in so much bondage that said, you have to go to church, you have to do this. Feeling like I was being watched if I didn't go or do this. It was just like, when I finally felt like it was okay to let go on Sunday morning and let go of the lies. When I woke up in the church and realized that there were some hypocrites and liars, it takes time. It takes time to break free. And that was my experience. It was tough. Depression hit. I was already depressed, but I just hit bottom with the depression. It was more like I was lost, totally lost when I let go. But that happens when you let go of this world and its ideologies. You have to find yourself to pick you up, yourself within to pick you up. Mm-hmm. People fear the nothingness, I think. They fear the nothingness. But it's not to be feared, It's to be understood, to know it, to understand self and what's really going on around us in this place that we're existing in. So I won't hold you too long, family. Yeah, people wake up in their own time. And people have to wake up in their own time. I don't want to force the issue upon anyone, because what happened to me was horrible experience. So a horrible experience. No one pressured me. Only thing that pressured me was that my transition in life from having a career, from not having a career, to trying to get over I was trying to heal myself from the trauma, trying to heal myself from wanting to have this need to be out here when I have a husband, I have a child, and I have a home of love. But still, there was other things I was trying to pursue in life, which weren't um, healthy. Okay, they are all reptilian bloodline. Ugh. Hmm. Well, the reptilian bloodline is the melanated people, melanated ones. It's us. So the royal family, they may have some black in them. Of course, the original royal family of England were black, and we know how that story goes. Um, I might, I think I might read some of. I got a big thick book of. I got a big thick book of. Maybe I'll have it here. Of maybe I'll read some of it about the royal family. Shakespeare. No, no, Shakespeare. I'm going to still talk about chi in the home, uh, but I'll do that in a different video. But now that we're talking about the royal family and how they came into being, it's the black family, from the black original British royal family. It's told in Shakespeare's story, really, really clear um, to understand. Yeah. Edward's sacred blood, descendants of Edward III. Yeah, Shakespeare's book, but we all know that Shakespeare was black and white. But they always try to make him Caucasian. Of course, they couldn't tell us before the Dark Ages what happened to Shakespeare during the Dark Ages. So, um, if we could talk about him before the Dark Ages, but before the Dark Ages, well, the way I see the situation is they came and they took over from the blacks, like they usually do every place. They attack and conquer and take over the palace, and call themselves the new royal family. So that could be why people are thinking that they're reptilian bloodline, but they're not. We have to be African American, have to be African. So with that said, family, till next time, true love, real peace, and the higher self within our soul. Until next time, family. Talk to you next time. Oh, let me thank everyone from showing up. Thank you, Slick93. Thank you, Vibrational. Thank you, Indigenous Warrior. An Haru Anakar Nara Ra. Welcome. Girl Gal, welcome. Indigenous Warrior, welcome. Welcome, welcome everyone. And talk at you later. Bye.